Make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on any Third and Long content. I want to send a huge shout out to Verizon, our new presenting sponsor. Third and Long is now powered by Verizon. Yo, what's good? This is Eric Armstead. Welcome to another episode of Third and Long presented by Verizon. Got a special guest today, my brother from another mother, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, countless accolades. Really one of the best teammates I've had, one of the best defensive linemen I've played alongside. And it's been a lot of fun for us to, play alongside each other and really get after offensive lines together. So we have a lot of fun on the field and off the field too. My guy, Nick Bosa.
Hey, everybody. Where should I look? Is there a specific look here? Or look at you? Is that fine? Thanks for the intro, buddy.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's funny because I remember it seems like so short ago that I was just a rookie coming in, and you were the leader, you and Buck, and now we're both kind of the tenured guys.
Yeah.
Freaking
Time flies by.
old heads, and I think you and Kevin are the only guys left from the original
Me and
group.
Kevin Givens from 2019, just us three left from when you got drafted. And, the league changed a lot. A lot can happen.
And for us, the Niners, like, we have the most, like, consistent squad probably in the league, too. Most teams, everybody's out in 4+ years. So,
yeah,
it's been good to have you around and being the leader. And, yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot of turnover in the league. A lot of people don't realize that, it's a new team every year, but having some consistency for us has been good and been great to build continuity. And, so yeah, that's been good. Thanks for joining. Starting this guest thing.
Of all the teammates, I know everybody's into the podcast these days, but you were the last guy I expected.
I was the last expected.
But I appreciate the way you kind of step into fields and certain things that I kind of understand aren't in your comfort zone. And I think that makes you better as a person to kind of step into the unknown and do things that are outside of your comfort zone, and being a little more vocal out in something like this. And obviously the stuff you do with the community is as good as anybody. So it's cool.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely was unexpected, really, get into the podcast space. And I didn't really see myself in that lane, But I think the thing for me was being able to be myself with it and be authentic and stick to who I am. A lot of people get in it for, different reasons, clickbaity stuff and, stuff like that. But I feel like, my goal with it was to educate people on football, give players a voice, because I feel like the media and all that, they control, or they used to control a lot of what people think about us, how they perceive football, what to look at, what to watch. And so I think it's a responsibility for players to, kind of change that. And then also having the platform to talk about things that are important to me and important outside of football too, I think has been great for me and, therapeutic in a sense to be able to do that and, now be able to chop it up with friends of mine about, some cool topics and get into some things. So, and then also learn more, I feel like, we have a great relationship, but, in this setting, we can even learn more about, one another. So with that in mind, you grew up in Fort Lauderdale. So tell me about being a Florida boy, growing up in Fort Lauderdale, your childhood, and, so how was that?
Yeah, well, I grew up originally in North Miami, and my dad played for the Dolphins, so he kind of bounced around, but ended up back in South Florida. He opened up a gym, South Beach. He was big time running all the celebrities, bodybuilders,
Yeah.
models, working out at the Gridiron Club down in South Beach, and that was kind of like his step out of the NFL. Him and my uncle, and that's how my mom and dad met. My uncle, obviously um, my mom's brother, and
Hmm.
that's how they were teammates, and that's how they met. So it's kind of a good combination of genes there, I'd say.
Hmm.
But yeah, growing up in Florida, uh, you know, me and Joey just competitive from the start. I just followed his footsteps every step of the way, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, you just want to be like your big bro, and we kind of took very similar paths. But yeah, Fort Lauderdale, we moved up for high school. St. Thomas was the big powerhouse. So,
Hmm.
and I just remember looking at St. Thomas as like a elementary middle schooler, and me and Joey just thought it was the craziest. Like these guys were like the way people probably look at us now.
Hmm.
Um, we just thought like these guys were unbelievable. Like reaching what they could reach is just we would go to games and we'd be blown away, and then you find yourself being that guy
Hmm.
at St. Thomas, um, and then you kind of like realize like this is possible.
Hmm.
Then Joey goes to a visit at Alabama, and they offer him right away. He was a sophomore, and then we were like, "Holy cow,
Yeah.
this could actually be what we
What we
what we
do.
do." And yeah, and then we just worked our way up. But growing up in Fort Lauderdale was sick. We had boats. We didn't go to parties. We kind of just got off school and hit the sandbar and tied up with our friends, and that was kind of our way of hanging out and having fun in high school. Um, it's a crazy place to grow up.
For
Definitely a
sure.
lot of crazy influences, and you got to stay stay in the right lane down
Hmm.
there. But I had a great childhood. My parents did an amazing job, and I had both of them every step of the way. So
Hmm.
that was good.
No, that's awesome. You talked about a lot of things. We never talked about this before, but one thing I look at with you is obviously your relationship with your big brother, and I'm a little brother too. And the reason I started playing football was because my big brother, um, my brother Armand, he was an All-American in high school, and I was just a young kid playing basketball, and everybody was looking at me like, "Your brother doesn't play football? What is he doing?"
Yeah.
And so that's the reason I started playing football, and literally I followed every step of him, just like you guys. My brother went to trips, started getting recruited by Pac-12. I was there tagging along. I learned everything from him. When he was at USC, he ended up going to USC, and I'm Coach Orgeron was his D-line coach. I'm watching film of their practice. I'm going down there to stay with him for a week or so at a time, and uh, really like soaking it in, being around like all the USC players and my brother, and like hanging out and learning football too. I'm taking cleats back to high school.
Mm.
Um, I'm taking technique, all these things, and really like my brother really like create a lane for me because I wanted to be just like him. And I got my first scholarship offer before I played varsity football because I was a freshman, and I started going to some camps, and UCLA missed out on my brother. They wanted him bad, but he ended up going to SC. So when I came along after my freshman year, I probably was like 6'4", like 250 already.
You probably stood out pretty good.
Yeah. I was like 6'4", 250 already. And like UCLA was like, "Oh, we can't miss out on the next
Yeah.
Armstead. Like we gotta offer him." So that was like my first offer. And then, things kind of blew up from there. But,
Yeah,
you know,
I feel like I got rated higher in all the rivals and all
Mhm.
the max prep stuff because they found out who Joey was. They made
Yeah.
the mistake of not rating him high enough,
Mhm.
and then they jumped on me quick with all
Yeah.
that stuff. So
And
if
that's how it works, and that's how recruiting was for me. I mean, I had every offer in the country. A lot of what I did, but a lot of what I learned from my brother, and the path he laid for me, and I'm super appreciative of that.
how many years older?
My brother is like 3.5 years older than me,
Yeah.
so
Did
you
he
know,
bully you?
huh?
Did he bully you?
100%, bro.
Because I
Like
got bullied
I got.
pretty bad.
How did you get bullied?
I don't know if the effects on me are ended up being a net positive or negative because it definitely toughened me up, but I might have some psychological issues
For
now
sure. So,
because
bro,
of it.
I had two brothers, Armand and Aaron. So the thing I remember most about my bullying was they used to hold me down. Both.
Dude, that's exactly
No, they used to hold me down,
so,
both of them, and they would make me decide if I wanted a chi-chi or a roll group.
I don't know those terms.
Exactly. So a chi-chi is they would squeeze my chest together because I was a chubby little kid. They would squeeze my chest together and make it look like I had breast. Or a row group was they would pinch my side fat and
Oh god.
and like squeeze it. And they would hold me down. They'd be like, "Nah, choose which one you want, a chi-chi or a row group." I'm like, bro, man, just give me a row group, bro. Like, but nah, I had even though they
It's
bullied
funny.
me a little bit, like my brother was like my biggest support, my biggest fans. And like I see you, like I know you talk to your brother after games. Um, that's the same relationship I have with my brother. Like I'll be hitting him up like, man, what you see out there? Because my brother's a really smart, brilliant football player too. Like, man, what you see out there? What are things I can be better at? So tell me about that, that relationship. Like now you guys are in the league, you guys are dominating, you guys are dominating together, really living out like you guys kind of dreamed that you guys had as kids.
Yeah, you definitely don't get to appreciate it as much. Um, it's kind of like a skill to really be able to reflect and sit there and look at what you've done and the fact that me and him have reached exactly what we wanted to reach.
Mhm.
And I don't think I really have completely sat back and like really appreciated it. It kind of takes me time. Like even with the awards that I win, like in the moment, it's just happening, and then down the line is when I really look back and appreciate it.
Mhm.
It's kind of how my mind works. But the fact that we're both where we're at, both made it to our second deals, both been on the same team our whole careers, established respect amongst our peers in the league. It's really cool. And when it comes to football, though, like me and Joey talk about a lot of things,
Mhm.
and um, football comes up sometimes. But
Mhm.
me and him, like, we like to keep our relationship kind of not too much about football, and
Mhm.
just normal conversation about life and things like that. But uh, I mean, we go back and forth throughout the season a little bit, but in the off season, we'll chat about techniques and stuff while we're training because we train together. But it's not quite as like just football heavy as some people would expect two brothers in the league to be.
Mhm. I mean, I think that's great. I think that's healthy. I mean, no one knows, more about what you guys are going through, off the field than your
Right.
brother who has known you your entire life. So having that person to be that support off the field.
And he's done it all. He's done everything that I've done. Most recently with the deal, just kind of talking about how to process it without getting complacent, but also fighting the outside noise of
Mhm.
living up to expectation
Mhm.
and the struggles that go along with it. It's obviously a life changing and unbelievable blessing.
Mhm.
But there are some things that people don't realize that you go through mentally with having that much expectation and that much just that many really great people at what they do. The head guys at a big time $1 billion organization
Mm-hmm.
are investing that in you, and you the imposter syndrome creeps in and all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. So yeah, just being able to talk about that with him has really helped me get through that. Because you don't understand it like unless you've been through it. So,
100,
like my
100%.
dad could help me with, and he has helped me with a million things, but he's never signed a deal anywhere close to me and Joey. So, and really had that, like, if the 49ers, a winning, renowned organization,
Mm-hmm.
um, really relying on you to be that guy. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome, and I'm excited for the challenge. But
Yeah. No, I think appreciating that, you talked about you and your brother getting your second deals. It wasn't just you guys getting your second deals. It's like you guys were at the top highest of your game. You win the defensive player of the year. I was fortunate enough to be there that night and see you winning that. I was so proud because I've seen every step of the way, in the NFL, that you have taken, and I've seen the grind, the work put in, um, daily. I've seen the sacrifices that you make, and it's really inspiring. A lot of times you inspire me, um, to be a better version of myself with how you approach football and life, and the dedication that you have. And so I think a lot of people, you know, put those expectations, but I didn't sign a contract like yours, but um, I was, the highest paid on the team on the defense at that time. And, I feel those things, the league has a great way of keeping that pressure on you. And
always.
like we talked about that on the field before. Is like, yo, like this is nonstop. You get drafted, pressure to prove yourself. All right, now, all right, I'm playing well. Now you really gotta prove yourself to get paid. Then you get paid, it's like, all right, now you gotta go earn the money and what comes with getting paid, and the expectation and the pressure that you're talking about. Um,
And it's healthy for sure because you don't want to be the guy who's just content.
mhm,
And but this is like you only get a certain amount of time to do this, to chase your goals, the profession that you've chased your whole life. And and some people might get paid and be like, all right, I've done it, I've reached it.
mhm,
But I feel like there would be so much regret down the road if that's what you chose to do.
yeah.
So there's really no other option but to keep pushing and keep preparing in the off season and continuing to try to take steps in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that nah, that's a great point. And I think that, you know, this league is so tough. A lot of guys who think like that kind of weed themselves out.
Hmm.
And there are some guys who, are just so talented that it just like, all right, they have worked hard to a certain extent, obviously, but they are so talented and they get to that level and it's like, man, I didn't really, you know, I'm just that good, and they don't necessarily appreciate it. But I think the guys, how hard this league is and everything you have to go through, um, you know, guys who think like that don't make it typically to that
Yeah.
level. And so those guys weed themselves out. And the guys who are there in that situation, a lot of that pressure comes internally too, because we truly want to be the best at what we do. And no one wants to be no has been. No one wants to be uh, a player that, has, um, gotten in this situation and then just like, all right, whatever. And so I think that internal pressure is healthy too, um, in the sense that, you want the most out of your life and your opportunity, like you talked about. And the only way to get that is with hard work and sacrifice. And that's why I've seen from you, and I've been so proud of you, is I've seen that sacrifice and that hard work and you don't take it for granted when you put in all that work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Reaching the goals that I've reached in my career so far, like the amount of doubt that I've had throughout my career with the injuries and just whatever times I haven't played well and all that stuff. At the end of the day, like the work that you put in pays off. Like
Mhm.
you just have to trust the work because if you're thinking about the end result the whole time, you're not gonna you're not gonna get too far. You gotta just put your head down, do exactly what you've always done, and work your butt off, um, and it will pay off in some way or another. It might not be exactly how you pictured the payoff,
Mhm.
but I truly believe hard work pays off. So
Yeah. Well, in your case, it was 5 years, 170
yeah,
million. I think that was pretty
We're-
much what you
yeah,
imagined.
definitely,
No, but
definitely.
no, but for real, I think like you, because that's what you can control. You can control your effort. You
Exactly.
can control. You can't control how you're perceived. A lot of times, you can't even control your production or what happens in the game, but you can control. Um, you can control how you prepare. You control the work you put in. Um,
It's funny as you become an adult, like truly an adult, because when you're coming in the league, you're a kid.
mhm,
Like in college, you're a kid, and as you become an adult, like things get more complicated up here.
mhm,
Like you have to really take the time, take the thought, and organize and create habits that are beneficial for your mind.
mhm,
Because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of this that people relying on you, and if you're not proactive about keeping your mind right and focusing on the right things in this
mhm.
world of social media and all the stuff that goes on, you could get lost pretty easily. So,
Hundred
um,
percent, 100% agree. For me, one of those ways is speak with a sports psychologist um, pretty regularly, and he's been super helpful for me to put things into perspective and get back to those controllables. At times, you can lose sight of that when you feel like you're putting in the work and stuff might not be going your way. Honing back into that, and that's been very helpful for me. And I know you talked about me and you have talked about different things that you do in the off season or during the year to pick up on. That's me.
you
Oh, it's Trent. Hold on. Yo. Yeah. All good, bro. All right. All right, bro. um, but you have talked about things that you've done in the off season. Throughout different off seasons, you come back and like, man, I picked up a new hobby. I'm starting to do this. This past off season, you said you start reading a lot more, have become an avid reader. So I'm sure that people are interested. Like, what type of books do you read? What have you been getting into?
yeah, I mean, in the off season, you have a lot of time, more time than you're used to. Get done training and stuff, and pretty early in the day, and you have to find ways to make your time work for you a little bit. And um, I obviously like to have fun. I go out on the boat, and my friends are down in Fort Lauderdale, so I like to do that. But the way we train, you have to rest, and I'm not really able to get into as many hobbies that I'd like to do that are active,
Mm-hmm.
which is a sacrifice you kind of have to make. Um, for us, our window of making the money we need to make and
Mm-hmm.
reaching the success we need to reach is 20 to 30. All my friends are figuring out their job and um and kind of having fun and doing the like fun stuff
Mm-hmm.
while while we're in the most important part of our life
Mm-hmm.
financially. So it's kind of a different thing in the sacrifices that we have to make. And obviously, um, it'll pay off when we're retired and sitting pretty. But, but, um, but yeah, so I try to pick up things that are kind of I could chill and do, and reading is something that I kind of had to force myself into a little bit. I always liked the idea of it as
Yeah.
growing
Sounds
up.
good.
Yeah, it sounds great. But now I really do sit down excited to read, and I'm kind of all over the place with what I like to read. I I like history. I like to read about world wars and all that stuff. And some fiction stuff. I'm not too big into fantasy, but yeah, I've been really putting down books, and it's become kind of like a meditation type thing where I'm sitting down for an hour, 2 hours, and I'm forced to think about one thing, and that's kind of I try to meditate and do different things that try to reach that same goal of being present.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely an easy way for me to do
Yeah. Reading.
it. Super exciting.
Super, super exciting, but I think very helpful, be able to compartmentalize different things, like you said, focus on one task. I enjoy reading as well too. Um, for me, I'm on like the self help book kind of
Yeah,
kind
there's
of
definitely
wave.
some good ones.
Yeah, mindset. I got into stoicism a little bit.
Okay.
The meditations of Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
Um, so some philosophy, some things to um, kind of change my outlook, my mindset, kind of ground me a little more. Obviously religious as well too. So tapping into my faith more.
I like to read about religion. I'm not religious, but I like to understand what it does for people
Mm-hmm.
and where it came from, like where it started, how it was used by humans to cope with certain things. And
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I'm not super into religion, but I think it does amazing things for people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I've read some books about that, just kind of the history of religion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's been great for me, but I think you should look at starting like a Bosa book club. I think people would be interested in like reading along with you. It might be a cool little marketing thing that you could do.
That would be cool. The Bosa Book Club.
Bosa book club.
You know,
Was speaking of marketing, um, you broke the internet with your Skims partnership. Interesting story. My wife sent it to me. So I'm like, why are you sending me this? And then I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, Kim K posted it. So that makes sense. Everybody follow Kim K. But you broke the internet with that partnership. And, it was cool for me to see because obviously I know you. And I feel like it was you, but a different side of you stepping outside a little bit. So,
yeah, like we talked about earlier, kind of stepping into things that I kind of forced myself this off season to say yes to more opportunities.
mhm,
To fill up some of that free time that I have,
mhm,
and not just be at home doing whatever. To force myself to do these photo shoots and some other. I did Celsius and this juicing company, Huron,
mhm,
and where I had to like be in front of a camera, talk, and like
mhm,
be that center of attention, which I'm not used to or fond of being.
mhm.
And that was one of them. It was a great opportunity. Definitely opens up a lot of new
Yeah,
avenues.
for sure.
But yeah, it was a little weird for sure.
How'd it come about?
Just they hit me up. I think
Yeah.
Kim K was interested, and um, And yeah, so I heard who was doing it, Neymar
Yeah, yeah.
and who's the basketball player? I forget his name.
Shay, right?
Shea, yeah.
Shay, SGA, yep.
Yeah, and yeah, it seemed like something that was paying well and easy enough.
Easy enough.
So, and I didn't see the negative. Like people say, like, oh, it's a distraction and all this. I did it for an afternoon in the off season. Like,
Mhm.
trust me, I'm focused on football and
Yeah. I think it
and
broke the internet so much, and people's reaction to it was so they
right.
thought it was like the biggest deal ever, but really from like a time commitment standpoint, it's like,
Yeah, it was like 3 hours.
yeah, not that big of your time, and you did it well before, and y'all just now seeing it. It's not
Right.
wasn't like I
I
had a
did it. I
game.
did it the right before the Monday night game, and
Right. It wasn't like, oh, you flew to LA right before the Vikings game to
yeah.
do it. But no, that's dope. And I like that you're, taking bigger leaps and exposing yourself to other things. And
Yeah, you don't have this opportunity for very long.
mhm.
So you may as well make the most of it. You live once, so
Yeah, for sure. So you felt like it was a little weird though for you?
yeah, I mean being in a room with most of uh the workers or whatever, the Skims people were females. So there
Mhm.
was like 30 females
Mhm.
standing around directing me on how to stand and pose um and the first it was I don't know her name, but the photographer was pretty big time.
Mhm.
Kim, she set it up. It was at a pretty legit I should know the name, but studio in New York.
Mhm.
So it was pretty legit, and I was just the center of attention in a big studio, and I had this photographer who's shot probably thousands. She was an older lady who's shot so many models and all this stuff.
Superstars.
Yeah, superstars. And she just in the beginning I was tight.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was awkward as hell. But I kind of loosened up a bit
yeah.
and ended up being
Yeah.
easy
It turned
money.
out good. Did you feel like a piece of meat a little
Thanks,
bit in
man.
front of the women?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not the worst situation to be
No,
in.
it could be worse ways to make money, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure.
No, that's
It's
dope.
easier than what we do on Sundays, that's for
Man,
damn sure.
take pictures in front of women or go out there and
Right. Bash your
try
body.
to bash your body, hit people, and try to find ways to get a sack, man.
Right.
um, no, that's dope. So switching over to something lighter, taking a look around the NFL. Um, other guys' games that you like to watch. Who are your top 5 edge rushers, guys that you respect and enjoy watching?
Um, Definitely, I'd say my brother. I gotta throw him in right away. I
Mhm.
think we rush similar in a lot of ways, but also have different strengths about us that we tend to go to. But other than that, I think Crosby for sure.
Mhm.
Just the effort he plays with and his skill set, his moves, just everything comes really natural,
Mhm.
and he changes everything up. We talk a little bit, not too much, but if I'm playing a team and he's played them, I'm definitely checking out his tape, his
Mhm.
swipes, and just how he gets to moves. He wins at a high rate, which
Very fluid. He's a
yeah,
very fluid athlete.
yeah, and he's gotten better every year. Yeah, he's definitely one of the best guys in the league for sure. And then who else? Name some guys.
You like Miles,
I
Micah,
mean, Miles and Micah are
TJ?
tough, man, because
Can't
like
replicate it.
there's just sometimes there's one on one. Not that Max isn't, but I'm not just gonna go bend the edge like
Yeah.
Miles Garrett
Yeah.
does every single play. So it's I kind of look at guys who have similar technique as me.
Mhm.
But I obviously respect and appreciate what Miles does every year and what Micah does.
Mhm.
TJ, I've been watching him a little more. He's he sticks to a couple things and it works great for him.
Mhm.
So just kind of like the moves are the moves, but I think the mindset going into the game of how you're going to get to that sack.
Mhm.
Like I kind of go out there and I'm just trying to win, and um, that's great. I win a lot and I've had success, but I think taking the next step is how to set up for that big sack strip at the right time,
Mhm.
by maybe wasting a couple rushes here and there.
Mhm.
And I see guys like TJ and my brother's really good at it. Um, Miles, I mean, trying to think who's like a drawing a blank on edge rushers.
No, I know what you mean though. Like, you know, jetting up the field, is sometimes frowned upon and like not coached, but really like what you're doing is threatening that guy and like giving an illusion to set up, other moves. And I think like, playing alongside of you, I think I know like what we go through as a defensive line and like our mindset is like, man, win whatever, you can do, just get there. Each rush is like so precious
Mhm.
to us, if that makes sense. Cause to be honest, like I feel like no one really blocks other D lines like how they block us. Like no one, especially you. Like I've seen the craziest protections against you and us. I'd be on the same side with you. I'm like, damn, bro, like this is trash. Like you got Chipper getting double team, getting the slide. They leaving 8 in protection. Like what? This is some unheard of stuff. So I feel like the opportunities really be limited with us and kind of changing our mindset, like you talked about, of not just like, all right, this opportunity is so precious. Let me work to set up some of my rushes, some of my moves. So, like you said, is when I win clean
Mhm.
and it's
It's not
super
like a
effective.
yeah, it's not like a slow death.
Mhm.
It's a you've set it up, he doesn't expect it, it's your fastball and boom,
Boom, sack.
and then ball's there, whatever, you get your sack, and a sack a game is all you really need.
That's all you need, man. All you need is one. One each
Which is
game.
crazy. Sacks are definitely an overblown stat.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, guys who consistently over the years get a lot of them, it definitely shows something that
Mhm.
you're because if you get a lot of them, you're going to get attention, and if you're still able to get a lot of them, then it definitely shows who's legit. But um, it's a tough stat, man, because you touch a guy or your closest man to a guy running out of bounds at the
Mhm.
line of scrimmage, you're
You get
you're rushing
one.
one,
And so
which
it could be, which
yeah.
is, very rare. They are hard to get, and it's tough. And for me personally, being a defensive lineman, that's why I always hung my hat on something that I could control, which was, we say it all the time, stop the run so you can have some fun. But I know for me personally, like how I play in the run, that's always gonna be something I can hang my hat on. And then in the pass game, you know, um, keep getting better. I think I'm very effective in the pass game too. And, if that happens, the numbers come, they come. But I know I always want to be like a complete player. And a lot of times guys can become just sack artists. And then when you're not getting the sack, what else are you adding to the game?
Right. Yeah, no, you as much as anybody on the D line that I've seen, really study the game and know tendencies and exactly what they're trying to do to attack us. And I've tried to pick up um my tape watching and kind of studying as a product of seeing you do it.
Mhm.
And but yeah, I think the healthiest way to play this position is to just be hard on yourself on the tape as an overall resume,
Mhm.
and not just seek stats every game. Like that's just it's too tough of a league to just um, to just be sack hungry
Mhm.
24/7. Obviously, you want to succeed, but it helps when you're on a good team because you can focus on winning, and
Mhm.
that's a healthy way to do it. But yeah, I've learned that just looking at the tape and being happy with your performance goes a lot longer way than just looking at the stat sheet every week.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you could have I've seen you do it. I know I've done it. Dominant games where it's like, dang, it didn't show up on the stat sheet, but I whooped that dude's ass all game, you know?
Hmm.
And so I think that's what you can hang your hat on is, like you said, watching the film and breaking it down and being hard on yourself and making sure that you're doing your job at the highest level, that you're winning, that you're dominant. And dominance doesn't always result in stats, but majority of the times when you keep doing that
Right, over time.
over time, it's
Yeah,
going to
so
result that in that way.
that's why when I see guys get, like, 3 sack games who I really respect, and maybe the sacks weren't
Mhm.
their best rushes of the game at all,
Mhm.
maybe they were hustle sacks, then I'm like, "You earned that."
Yeah, he earned that.
Yeah, because
Like I seen this man whoop this man
Right,
12 times in one game and didn't get
right.
a sack. So
Yeah,
yeah, you deserve
you deserve that,
that
for
easy
sure.
one that you
Yeah,
got because they're really all hard to come by
for sure.
at the end of the year. So speaking of that, speaking of being hard on ourselves, looking at the tape, move over to the self scout segment of the show. I got some plays. A shout out to our video guys at the team. They sent us over some plays that we can look through and break down, and you can go with it however you want. Talk technique, talk what was going through your mind. You could talk through, maybe try to educate some defensive linemen watching. How you have success out there, and break down some film. So let's get into that portion of the show.
Let's do it. Well, it is honestly, this one kinda caught me off guard. It was 2nd and 3, I was kind of expecting run,
Mm-hmm.
um, and, yeah, I got off the ball, I switched my feet, um, try and get a quick jab step on him. I kinda like to mess with my stance, depending on what kinda setter the tackle is, like, if
Mm-hmm.
he's getting on me quick or kinda getting vertical, I switched that around just to be ready, for when, um, we're gonna engage throughout the play,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Because switching your feet switches up
the amount of
the
steps.
amount of steps and the time to contact, the time
Mhm.
to engagement.
Right. So this one kinda jumped me. I was thinking run, but, hit him quick. This one was a lot of my moves that, and then when I go into a game, I'm trying to quiet my mind down and just go. And this
Mm-hmm.
is a good example of that because I didn't even think of a move. There wasn't anything in my mind, but it looks like I was because my hands reacted quick. I got the swipe and got him down. And you were whooping Zach Martin, so that helps. And yeah. So this one is just a quick inside move against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford was getting the ball out pretty quick this day.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to just hit a quick change up. I thought maybe 89 was chipping here.
Mm-hmm.
So tried to get my feet in the ground quick. And if he chipped me, I was planning on just going with the chip.
Inside.
Yeah,
And you played against Havenstein a lot. He's
for
been on the
sure.
Rams for 9 years. So.
Definitely savvy. He's the type of guy who's not gonna get beat quick.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of tries to make sure if he's gonna get beat, it's gonna be a slow death and not just a
Win.
quick win. And he definitely likes to hold, but
Like they all do.
like they all do. But yeah, just a quick inside move. I knew he was grabbing with that inside hand, so I tried to swim over, pin it down, and definitely got there quick.
Mm-hmm. So when you're watching guys, watching offensive linemen preparing for a game, um, you know, kind of what's your mindset when watching a guy? Like, what are you viewing? Because I mean, I know, but a lot of people watching don't know. Like, what are you looking at? What are you trying to key in on? Um, for you when you're preparing for a game and going against a player.
Yeah, like I said, um, I like to keep my mind quiet, so I don't like to look at too much, but um but there's certain things that you definitely want to be prepared for, and I think one is um how they set, whether it's a kick set out and or vertical and their hand placement.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, those two things is really the biggest keys, just to so I'm not swiping air, or
Right.
like where I'm placing my hands on power and all that stuff. But yeah,
So
like
once you have those two pieces, you feel pretty good to
yeah.
go out there and kind of play free and
Right.
not
Yeah. I don't want
not
to
focus
be
on moves
yeah, I
per
don't want to
se.
be thinking about too much when I'm out there. I think the best games that I play are where I'm focused on getting off the ball and being physical.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start to play plays and look at formations and do stuff like that, it kind of slows me down, and I don't get off to that hot start that I like to get off to in a game.
Mm-hmm. So definitely talk about the run game. I know being in this defense, you know, me used formerly playing defensive end in this defense, how important like being a complete player is. Like we ain't no we don't jump around blocks. We're not just worried about getting sacks. We're worried about dominating the run and pass game. So a lot of people sleep on the run game, but I know for you it's very important in your game too, and how you can establish your presence and be felt out there.
Yeah, I like the run game. I think it sets up everything I do as a player. When you're able to really be physical and set the tone of a game and embarrass people with your strength, it gets me going, it gets me
Mhm.
excited, and our defense playing the run is all about physicality and just the the intricacies of your technique within our defense. Everything happens really quick in an attack front,
Mhm.
and if you're off your aiming point or off a millisecond, then you um, might get pushed out a little too far on an edge set, or a tight end might be able to get just enough of you for them to do what they want to do.
Mhm.
So you have to be on point to really dominate, and I think that's progressed throughout my career here. And this one here is just a normal 2x2 edge set, and not many teams like to run in the B gap against us. That's for sure.
Mhm.
But when they do, we got to make them pay, and just getting off, good get off, low. Um, we play pretty wide, so you want to shed inside and make a play. But yeah, run game is I think, yes, like I said, sets up everything else.
Mhm. Nah, for sure. Like you said, and also teams haven't been running the B gap on us. I feel like we get like all perimeter runs now, which the rest of the season is going to
Yeah,
be a focus.
run game's interesting because it seems like it's just a copycat throughout the league.
Man,
Whatever's working, and
bounce with pullers is like the number one play
it
I'm seeing.
changes all year, and I feel like it just evolves constantly. Like
Yeah.
plays that were foreign to us in 2019 are just like we've seen them so many times that it's
Mhm.
just nothing now. So now we find answers to those, and then offenses try all this new stuff.
Yeah.
You just got to keep evolving and seeing how teams are gonna attack you, and looking at similar fronts throughout the league who play similar to us.
Exactly. Definitely seeing some same patterns with teams or how they're trying to attack us, and we're gonna have to finish off the rest of the year strong. Finish up the show with talking about, the rest of the, midway through our 2023 season. What's your mindset? How you feeling? And, you know, where we want to get to.
Yeah, I feel so rejuvenated. It's amazing what a little time off does for you.
Man, it works wonders.
And it's not even my body. My body was probably the best it's felt reaching a bye week.
Hmm.
This year I was feeling good. I think not doing camp might have something to do with the reason my body was feeling fresh. But but yeah, just keep your mind, like, especially when you go on a 3-game losing streak. The tension, everybody's looking for answers, who to blame, this, that, and it wears on your mind a lot when you're not living up to what you want to be as a defense,
Hmm.
and as a team, obviously. And I think we're pretty healthy as a squad
Sure.
coming out, which is a huge bonus. It's half the battle in this league.
Hmm.
And but I just feel so rejuvenated. The Monday practice we just had, I was flying around. Having Chase is really cool.
Hmm.
Just the fact that I finally have an Ohio State guy on the squad.
Yeah.
We haven't really had any. And a guy who was in my room who was kind of like the next guy in line of the pass rushers at Ohio State. It
Hmm.
was Joey, and then me, and then him, and a bunch of other guys along the way too.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, just
really at
having
that
him.
level though,
Yeah, he's as talented as it gets, and I think people kind of forget quick in this league.
Yeah.
You gotta earn your respect every single year, every single game, and he's obviously dealt with the injury, so people forget.
Hmm.
People might not think of him as the player they thought of him when he was going
First
on that
came out.
rookie
Yeah.
crazy tear he went on. But there's no reason he can't get back and better than he was before with
Yeah.
being healthy now, and the fact that he's on our team is going to be huge.
No, that's dope.
But
You have a chance to play with your college teammate like I did with Defo back in the day. It's a special feeling. I know you guys gonna have a lot of fun. Gonna bring back a lot of memories, a lot of continuity. You guys gonna be out there making plays together, and it's gonna.
yeah, and he loves football, like, and I think our room is a pretty quiet room of D linemen.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I think he's gonna bring a great energy.
Nah.
Just like we love to play, but we're quieter guys,
Yeah.
not the rah rah
Mm-hmm.
type of group.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you need kind of somebody who's willing to talk a little smack, and
Yeah.
not just that, but just be energetic and bring that energy to the D line. So I'm excited. But yeah, just as a team, we know we have the squad to do what we want to do. It's just stay the course. We've If I've learned anything, it's a long year every single year, and you just have to keep on preparing the way you prepare, um and working hard, and that hard work will pay off for us for sure.
Right. We've been through a lot worse situations, and the thing that has got us over the hump in the past is that grind. We know what we have. Time to go do it now. I feel like me and you, uh, this is when we start to play our best ball too, when our team needs us the most. Um, Down the stretch, November, December, and in the playoffs, that's when me, you, these past years have always been our best. And, I'm looking forward to doing that again and going on the, rest back half of this journey that we started. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a new season. Like, we did some great things, obviously 5-0, but just the reset, I think, came at a really good time for us, and just starts one game at a time from here on out.
100%. We're gonna get to it. It's a wrap. Appreciate appreciate you joining, bro. A lot of fun. I know everybody out there enjoyed having you on the show. Appreciate you. It's a wrap for another episode of Third and Long, presented by Verizon. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the show, and in the comments, let us know what you guys what you guys think, what you guys want to hear, any things you guys want us to discuss. So appreciate your support, the real fans. Appreciate your support for this show, and we'll continue to grow and develop. And I'll see you on another episode of Third and Long.